I'm ready, whenever you guys are. She's going as
Okay.
far as I understand.
Okay, we're to November 5th, 2020, G Township Water Authority meeting. Virtual meetings being taped. We're going to start with Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Jim,
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Gus.
Here.
Lisa's excused.
Yep.
And Deb Antonio.
Here.
And myself.
Wonderful. Okay, visitors' comments. We have a letter here from Christine Devon. Okay, she writes, the minutes for the September 3rd meeting need to be corrected. It stated there were no decisions made in the executive session. This is not applicable to any executive session because you cannot ever make decisions in an executive session. You must state the purpose of the executive sessions always. What was the purpose of the one at the September 3rd meeting? The minutes must show this. Also, your agenda November 4th, you will have an executive session again. You must state the reason for the executive session. You can hardly hear the recording of the meeting even when you turn up the volume. Has any board member tried to listening to a recording? Can you fix this problem? Okay, thank you, Christine. What can you do to answer that?
As for the recording, I listen to it and you can hear it.
Okay.
I've played it. I'll double check them, but before I upload, or after I upload, I try and play them. Only issue I had is it would play so long and drop out.
Yeah.
You have to restart, but I'll double check, make sure. Worst case, I think there's a volume slider on the thing on Google Drive. I can have her make sure it's up to. So I will look into that.
Okay.
As far as the
Question.
Yeah, the executive session. I mean, we could say what we did from the last month in today's meeting, if that would be beneficial.
Yeah, I can't go back and change the minutes.
No, but we can say the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say it in this meeting. Typically, we've gone through that before. Employee matters, etc. There's an outline for it. And she's right. You reporting that no decisions are made. You can't make a decision.
No.
We could still. I don't see the issue in adding that to reassure that no decisions were made. But we should clarify what.
Just gotta make sure when you go into the meeting that you verify what you come into the meeting for.
Yeah.
Well, the September 3rd one was for legal matters.
Yep.
Okay. Then that's what we just revised the.
Yep. You
We'll
just have to
put
put
that
in
in this
there.
minutes.
Yep.
Yep.
And the last one was for employee. November 4th will be, November 5th will be for employee issues.
And that would also be quick discussion of new hires, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess, that'd still be employee matters.
I think we also discussed bereavement.
No.
No,
That was in the meeting.
That was during the meeting?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Approval of the agenda. We have some plant hours.
We need to add to the agenda new hours at the plant. And adding, reading William Upperman's letter from, I believe it was 9:30 of this year, 2020.
It was for October's meeting.
Okay.
Okay, but okay.
No, but the new plan hours will go under the new business.
Okay.
I was just starting coming in before 8 o'clock.
Okay. So we're all good with this.
Well, you have to ask for
Okay,
approval.
Yeah.
Motion.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Can I have a
Second.
second? Okay, Gus seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, approval of the minutes, regular meeting minutes, October 1st, 2020.
So I guess we need to add is what you just discussed about.
Yeah, we'll have to add the dates and what we, went into the executive section.
Yeah.
I'll just put that as, I'll put that as what the minutes are, you know, and add that to the minutes and then get approval for the minutes in.
Okay, so, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make motion to approve the minutes with the revision to the executive session saying the purpose of the executive session was for attorney matters, legal matters.
I'll second that motion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed. Okay, treasurer's report.
The beginning balances of 9/30/2020 is $23,976.01. Total deposits were $49,275.51. Accounts payable, $36,041.51. Balance in checking account as of 10/31 was $37,210.01. Balance in savings account as of 9/30 was $276,225.78. I transferred from checking to checking $10,000 out of the savings, which leaves us a balance as of 10/31 $266,237.23.
Okay.
No, that's it.
Okay, approval of the bills.
The accounts payable for all the bills for the month of October was $36,041.51.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain due to my federal.
Okay, correspondence.
Oh, is that me?
If you're gonna read mine.
Yeah. Going to be,
This is from our intern, correct?
yeah, this
He
is from,
submitted correspondence last month, and we weren't sure if he wanted it read aloud, and he says he does.
yes. Dear Water Authority Board members, as my internship comes to a close, I'd like to outline a few things over the time I have worked at Township Water Authority. I have enjoyed working with Patrick, Justin, Sharon, and our board over the last 2 summers. I have learned a ton about what processes go on to treat the water we drink. I was also taught some new maintenance procedures this year, and I didn't get to learn last year. All in all, my experience has been pretty good. I have thought long and hard about the decision I have made in regards to furthering my career here. The guys were talking about trying to get me hired on a part-time worker. Patrick wanted to help to get my water license since I have over 8 months of experience working down here. However, there has been some ugliness uncovered in regards to my ex-co-workers. They seemed fine last year until something got in their heads that we were trying to get them fired. That was not the case. We all worked good as a team and argued very little until later in the summer. Former maintenance worker Mr. Stacy Snyder blew a gasket on not only me but the secretary Sharon Brem and operator Patrick Wakovich last year, and that was the downfall of it all. I have heard Mr. Snyder say, "If I go down, so will all of you." I have free legal representation, and that was in quotations. Former part-time maintenance worker Mr. Jim Huff has always been crabby and had seemed to have an issue with authority for the most part. I firmly believe they coordinated their departure with one another and have also decided to start a vendetta and make our lives a living hell after the fact. We have been bombarded with pages upon pages of right-to-know requests since they left. This has impacted the work quality from everyone that is currently employed here. Yes, it is legal to send requests to us, but when will it stop? They seem to be nitpicking everything we do, and they keep requesting things that they should already have information on. We can all see a hidden motive behind the request. The motive is to get Patrick fired, as there is some sort of vengeance that they have against him. They've even gone to the extent of reporting Patrick to DEP for falsifying sampling in order to get his license revoked or worse. Patrick is committed to hard-working individual and has always done things the way they're supposed to. He is very easygoing boss, but he can be particular about how things are done when need be. This could lead to some people thinking he has a power complex, but that is not true. Patrick has been nothing but committed to serving the J Township community. Stacy and Jim may claim the work environment was hostile. It was not. They are the ones who made the work environmental hostile. There have been plenty of instances in which these particular ex-coworkers and ex-board members have expressed their disgust with Patrick and tried to question his competency. In my experience here, Patrick has done everything by the books, and he's very particular with the procedures that are done in order to prevent us from having to do damage control. There have been many complaints made to DEP, I presume by Stacy, Jim, Linda, and their associates. Instead of contacting the water authority and informing us of water issues, they took matters into their own hands and posted on Facebook and reported straight to DEP. A couple comments have been made about me throughout this year. These comments were about my alleged drug use. I have proven these to be false statements by passing a drug test I willfully took with my own money and showing it to the board to defend my employment. There have also been a couple of instances where Stacy has yelled inappropriate things to me from a township road. The last time was the final straw with me. We were loading the pickup truck for a leak in force. He then drove down the road, rolled down his window, and yelled, "Tell Patrick to flush his fucking lines and tell him to quit smoking dope and carrying his fucking gun to work." I have my carry permit, so I'm permitted to carry my gun on me, as there are no policies regarding this. Jim Huff last year made no attempts to hide his gun. He carried it on his back brace in plain sight. So why is this an issue that I carry my gun at work? They will say anything and try to run us out. I was drug into this whole mess because they knew I got along well with Patrick. Patrick argued to hire me back from my internship because I proved him my commitment for learning and something new and serving a community that is not my own. I have enjoyed learning everything that goes on in the water company. In regards to this possible merger that is on the table, I'm afraid of my future here. The merger seems to be nothing but a political agenda to run out the current water employees and reinstate the supervisor's friends. It's a very bad idea, considering you already have a good crew to work for both water and sewage. Both are committed to serving this community. I am also concerned since I have witnessed an unprofessional way of dealing with employees of the sewage company. Sewage chairperson Rich Filer has made it a point that he, on a personal basis, does not care for former sewage maintenance worker Vincent Gambino. Vince has shown a copy of memo he received stating a mandated workday and some other issues regarding his contacts with us. Are they trying to cause the two municipalities to fight, then push on the merger? Mind you, the issues with the sewage last year were caused by an ex-water employee, Jim Huff. We have not had issues since. Water and sewage get along well. If we need to help, they will help us, and vice versa. To bring up another matter, that this is not right, I was also made aware that Vince was shorted a sum of 9 hours of holiday pay and vacation pay that he rightfully earned. He finally had enough after he was holding his paycheck. They were withholding his paycheck from him. Is this how you treat a good worker? This seems to me that the people in power down here are playing some sort of personal game. These are some of the many reasons I have decided to put a hold on furthering my future career here at the water company. I have enjoyed learning and working in municipalities like this. It is very unfortunate that the games being played down here have made me reconsider staying here when I once saw a hopeful career there. I would like to see this valley prosper, but when there are a couple of corrupt politicians down there, this is very unlikely. Best regards, William Upperman, and there was a copy sent to J Township supervisors.
Well, Very interesting. Okay. Moving on to delinquencies. None.
None.
That's a good thing, right?
Well, its bills are out, they're due November 10th.
There you go. Okay, maintenance report.
Okay, maintenance report submitted by myself and Justin Arnold. 72,162 miles on the 2011 F-250 utility. 53,637 miles on the 2008 F-550 dump. 16 calls, checked facilities and buildings, mowed grass and weed eat as needed. I think that'll probably be the last time that's on here till next season. Restored and seeded previous digs. Change oil in F-250, grease universals. Repaired one service leak and one main leak. Assisted in spot flush as complaints came in. Assembled shelf at garage, organized and put fittings on shelf. Still a work in progress. Received 2 loads of stone from Burndale Bridge project. Received a load of blacktop base. Spread at office. Picked up John Deere mower after repairs. Picked up supplies while in town. Assisted locating lines in force.
Okay, operators report.
Submitted by myself and Dennis Beck. I consult him on the phone still, occasionally, so still put him on here. Distribution flow was 5.3 million gallons. Water produced about 5.6 million gallons. Very little of that was from the plant, 837,000 gallons. And then primarily running the well, 4.7 million gallons. As of Thursday, 29, last Thursday, we were running the streams. We were running every single day from then until this morning. I've reached pass-by flows again. So we are now on the well once again. I think I may mention that earlier, but wanted to say that was while that was on my mind. Completed and submitted DEP reports for September. Completed daily lab. Bacteria samples to the lab. Regulatory samples picked up. Backwash filters, backflush intakes as needed. I think that was only one time. Logged monthly data into Excel worksheet. Filled chemical drums and mixed phosphate at the well. Attended Bennett's Branch Watershed Association meeting. Completed some testing for them. Mailed consumer tap notices to lead copper sampling sites. 2 out of 10 exceeded on lead. Water quality parameters have been taken. Public education papers are to go out to each customer. Though, as a reminder, the lead is not from the source water or the plant / the well. It comes from the homeowner's plumbing. So that does not mean that everyone has lead in their water. It means that at the time we were going through the phosphate change. It just means that you are at increased risk. We'll be sending out letters explaining that, and then we'll be testing again, I believe. We have to do 2 samplings within 6 months, so we'll see how those go when they come back. Kessler fencing was in to repair the man gate in the back of the plant. That was just, I think we discussed before, it was just a hole cut in the fence, then we had a temporary gate in, and now this is permanent, proper gate. Generator parts picked up from Clearfield Electric. We light flushed Caledonia after some complaints. We spot flushed other areas of complaints. Troubleshoot the stream level gauges. When the streams got low, the gauges never came back up after we did get rain. It looks like the one at Burns may have a bad battery. The one at Kersey, I had Jeff redo the programming on the PLC, and it now reads every day. Check on the project at Force, trace and mark lines in Force. The locator worked great, it's now malfunctioning. LB Water now has it, they're getting it repaired. We now have their demo locator until ours is returned, so we can continue tracing what we weren't able to trace before. Replace remaining high bay lights in the plant. That was like the bane of my existence. Now I can turn the lights on and there's actually light. They're not half burned out and everything, so. Pressurize the new main in Force, repair leak at the new tie-in. There was some questions from, some complaints to DEP. DEP, I followed their recommendation. For the tie-in, there was no boil water advisory needed as long as we flushed. And same thing for when it broke behind the tie-in. No boil water advisory needed. DEP was content with flushing. I corresponded with them over both things. They are content. Attended Caledonia Bridge construction meeting. They said we may need affidavits for crossing their water, or for them being near the water line area where the bridge is. They shouldn't be affecting ours, but they still wanted them. So when I get information from them, I'll get with you, Brian. We'll try to figure out what to do, because I've never done one. So a lot going on. That's all I got there.
Okay. Alright, moving on to old business. CDBG grant, Forest, Pennsylvania.
So far, I believe these numbers are accurate as of the end of the day today. Continental Construction's installed 1,800 feet of 6-inch line, 130 feet of 2-inch line, and have 13 customers connected into new plastic piping that has been properly sampled and pressure tested. They have ash, oak, completed, pressure testing pine currently, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Maple,
Yeah,
maple and oak.
Maple and oak. Like I said, Patrick and Justin have been a huge help down there, locating the line in front of these guys. There were a lot of them that the lower side wasn't as bad. There were a couple more showing, but pretty much every one, we had a very good guess, for lack of a better term, of where they were. It was fairly accurate, but not exact. These guys went through and pretty much been going door to door, doing all that. We are looking at 2 possible change orders right now. The line location, the alignment on Pine, right at the beginning, is we tried keeping it as close to the edge as possible. It's in the road a little bit more. I've talked to Tracy Gerber, and I said, I was like, look, even our paving limit is 8 inches on each side of the pipe diameter, and then a foot beyond that. So we're pretty much 4 feet paving down where we have trench. Currently, we'd be leaving like a foot of existing pavement that it's not going to hold. And I've told her that. I'm like, look, we can't just leave that little piece there. And so we're probably going to do a change order. It's roughly $11,000. Again, it comes out of the grant funding. So we'll be doing a change order for that. And then a 2-inch line, well, what we thought was a 2-inch plastic line, we have uncovered, and it ended up being a 3-inch transite. So we're looking at different possibilities of how we can get back and connect the 4 houses back there to new lines. We're debating on either running service connections individually back to the houses, running a 2-inch line to a certain point. We're still looking at that. There's a lot of fences, concrete, different things that we really need to look at back there. But that's still well within the budget of the grant funding, so we'll be including that in the change order.
Now, do you have the stuff for the creek, to cross the creek?
No, because in talking with Tracy, so the project is technically being funded by HUD. They greatly frown upon going in waterways. That is why we did not include that in the original project.
You gotta put that new pipe in there.
Well, that's what we wanted to talk about. If we want to approach Continental as the water authority and not through CDBG about doing that.
That should have been in the contract, cause it's continuation of the line.
But HUD has limits of what they can do. We have to follow their guidelines on how we proceed with the project. And that was one of their things, they could not access a waterway.
Rules are rules.
Well, I mean, it's
Unfortunately.
crazy if we don't go through that creek. And if we just cut it off, you're gonna have an old piece of transite in the middle of the creek.
Yep.
And that's
I
one of the
agree.
worst places to have an old line.
No.
So I think Brian's recommendation, my recommendation too is, and probably need a motion on the table to do it, is, I believe with the conservation district, get the GP5 permit to cross the creek and have the water authority pay the bill for Continental to cross that while they're there. And I talked to Matt yesterday, a lot easier to do that now when we're there than have them come back in the spring and do it, and he agreed they could do it,
Oh,
so.
yes. Most
So-
definitely. I just can't see leaving an old transite in Miller Creek.
Well,
Just
we've reached
that's
out to Continental to try getting a price estimate. I was hoping to have it by the meeting, but everybody's been running around like crazy. So we're getting a cost estimate from them that way we can at least see what cost it's gonna be before we do make any kind of motion to formally put it in.
Well, why don't you get the cost estimate and call up there and maybe we can have a workshop or a special meeting.
Yep.
A
Say we
special
probably-
meeting to pass it or not pass it, because I think that's very important.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I can't see cutting each end of an old pipe and
Yeah,
piecing it. Not when we're at this point already. So get the price, call up here and,
Okay. Yeah, I'll send the quote to Sharon and Patrick, and then they can distribute it from there.
okay, I think that's very important.
Yes.
I can't
Do
see
it
us
right
not
there.
going all the way into Newtown and not having a new pipe across that creek. It just
Yeah.
don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yep, to do everything else and leave that
Yeah.
would be
And
foolish.
if you have a leak in the creek, I can tell.
Right.
It's not like
yeah.
seeing out in the ground.
Mhm.
I just thought that would be in the contract, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we will,
Yeah. Yeah, that was originally proposed, and then whenever we were going through with Tracy on the environmental review, that was one of the guidelines that we couldn't be in the waterway.
Well, see what the price is and bring it back to us.
Okay.
Okay, on to phosphate.
I can cover that one. Still using the Sequest. My dosages, we've pretty much found out consistent what we want to mix at and everything. Still having some discolored water calls up to the beginning of last week. Before we started the plant, I have gotten a lot of responses from people. Oh, we can tell the water's back to normal. The water's much better, etc. I think that's just the stream source versus the well source as itself. But I can even notice flushing. There's no color at all with the stream sources. Again, unfortunately, we're back on the well, but the flushing we're doing now will tell. It's kind of process of elimination. If the dirty water comes back, we can confidently say that it's not the line stripping off. It's something else happening. If it stays clear, and then we can go, okay, the phosphate's doing its job, it was the coating. So despite being on the well, as of today, we're still going to continue to do a complete flush. Force is going to be touch and go because there's no point in flushing the new line. So I'm probably going to bypass the Pine Avenue side and go through Chestnut. There's probably no point in flushing Spruce because that's going to be replaced, but I'll decide that when I get there. But everything from this side to Caledonia, Weedville, Balmertown, Scattertown will be flushed, and if anything shows back up, we know to start looking elsewhere. So
And while you're on that, when you guys hooked that up there, what did they do with the hookup that goes to the plant?
oh yeah, we were up there earlier today, like from the well to the plant.
Yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
it was originally done. The DEP said we could do it
Yeah.
this way, but now we're running into this dirty water as we run more and more of the well. I understand that we wasn't going to go on the well
Mhm.
for a long period of time, and with this drought, we might run into the same thing next year. It'd be nice if we could hook that up back to the plant. I don't know what the filtration system would be.
Yeah.
We'd have to check on that. I think it's very important that we check on that for future droughts or whatever.
Franny, we've had this conversation several times when we were first doing this, when we were first looking at the quality about keeping it going through the plant. The problem is with those being conventional filters and not, to treat that well, you would need green sand filters. They pretty much the same look but different media. They technically have charged media that pulls the iron and manganese out.
Okay.
What if we would try putting it through our existing filters? All it would end up doing is blinding them and building up, and we get very short run times and probably have to change the media fairly often.
And, I mean, it's just something in the future we might have to do.
Yes.
And-
Well, and that's one thing. Eventually, I mean, if nothing else, I'd like to talk about at some point, like you said, some kind of filtration for that well, and or possibly looking into another well. Because if we're looking at investing the money into filtration, I'd like to invest the money into filtration to a well that we know 100% is going to supply us with every drop of water we need.
Well, I mean, this one seems to hold up well. I mean,
With Houston Township pulling
Yeah.
less than normal.
why they pulled less than normal?
They fixed a lot of their leaks.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They went from 100,000 a day down to 75,000 per day, and now they're at 52,000.
The last time we had to run this well for this period, not even close to this period, we had the issue of conserved water because it wasn't keeping up to regular demand. But that was with Houston pulling that much.
But right now, the pipe is not hooked up.
No,
Okay,
no,
it was never hooked.
there needed to be an air gap there to satisfy DEP at that
But-
point.
Like you're saying, it could be hooked to another well or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, the piping's still there. It would just need a slight modification to be able to go down to the plant. We believe I haven't physically seen it. We believe it's tied into the intake line for the Burndale intake.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah, and it comes to the plant.
okay,
The only thing is, we might have to switch it over to, like you said, a different kind of filtration system.
yes.
But every time we go to the well, then we get all these complaints, so, I mean, in the future, it might be something worth do, cause I think we're gonna run into these droughts more and more.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's why I've reached out to Castleberry to try getting more information on the well that sits right down by the plant. Because I know just from talking with different people, it seems that there's certain areas. It seems like down lower, we're running into a lot of salinity, like how in this well. The upper section seems to be more iron and manganese, but there is a section in the center that is pretty clean water. Whether that's enough clean water to make that a sole source or to supplement the Burndale well, it's something I've been trying to look into.
Okay. I mean, I
Gotta
think
keep
we ought to
studying it.
look in that
Yeah.
and study it for the future.
Yes. Yeah, I'm 100% on the same page. If
Well-
we're going to be relying on well sources, we want it to be as good a quality as the streams.
That's why, I had questioned you about Red House. Remember how we used to draw water from Red House
Yes.
before? And I know we looked on the map, on, what was that website I told you about?
Oh,
Acre,
yeah.
acre value.
Acre value.
Acre value, and it shows that we still own that up there.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I mean, we've got water from it before. I mean, I understand the line going up to it's outdated, but
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
shot.
I think the thing was whenever we did permit the Burndale well, and I think it's technically on the same source as Burns Run. Because it's just sitting above Burns Run, correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if-
it's the same stream. It's
Same
just
correct.
it's an impoundment on the same
yeah,
stream.
they would.
Like a dam that they
Yeah, if
built.
we were gonna end up putting that back on our allocation permit, they would most likely do something really similar to the pass-by flow we have at the intakes.
Okay.
So it'd be a matter of how much reserve we could hold as a reservoir, I guess.
Yeah.
So it could, I would say, you could at least. I mean, you don't have a lot of flat area to really dam. We'd have to own all that, but it could buy us a week or two, possibly, or.
Well, it's just something, I think
Yeah.
we ought to keep on.
Well, and
Well, like you said, it ain't gonna get any wetter, this planet, the way that it's
No,
going,
yeah,
I
you know
think
what
we
mean?
ought to really
We need
look
to-
into that.
Yeah, we need to dig into
There-
every possibility that there is.
There may be
to-
more. It may be more worth more into treating the wells than it would be the surface water sources, just for the fact of the pass-bys.
Mhm.
Well, and
Longevity.
to be honest with everybody, I've always been interested in it and in researching that a little bit more. the big thing I've kind of been holding my breath on is seeing the $10,000 a month loan payment that I believe isn't that much longer. And I figured at that point then we could kind of research it more.
And then we would have, theoretically, we would have the same product water going out to the system no matter what source we're running.
I think the problem we're running into, they're so used to treated water, and we don't get away from the treated water, then you get everybody hollering and complaining and.
Yes,
Yeah, you have the two transitions from quality to quality.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, there's such a big transition
Yeah.
there.
Okay, I.
Is that
get
something
more.
we need to tell the customers, you know?
Like, I've gotten to the point that I kind of have been, that, you know, this is, with the drought, this is the source we're stuck with, this is the source we're on. It's unfortunate that we have the pass-bys because we can't keep that consistent quality out there, but
Right.
it's what we have. And they have their reasons for putting us on pass-bys, I get it, but we have to do it, there's not much we can do. And I've actually had some people say, well, I'm going to call, they said, who's in charge of that? I said, Susquehanna River Basin and DEP. And we had some people expressing interest in calling them and saying, hey, because of these pass-by limits, you're limiting the availability of, I don't want to say none of it's good quality, they're both good quality water, but they're different. You have super good water versus okay water, and these people obviously always want the super good water. I always want super good water. So,
Yeah.
so they're like, we're gonna call and make these phone calls and say, hey, we're giving up our really good stream water for this well that's not so good. Granted, we're lucky to have it, but so I've actually had some interest in people wanting to fight that too. I don't know if they'll get far. I'm sure they won't, but it's good to know that these people are understanding what's going on and that we're working with what we have, and they're willing to speak up a little bit too and try to help things better here.
Well, and that's one thing. I'd like to see whenever our streams are back up that we can regularly use them. I'd like to see our Burndale tank lowered a little bit so we can kind of do a somewhat interior inspection of it. DEP has kind of requested it as well with the dirty water complaints. Make sure there's no sediment buildup in there from the wells, from the plant. Also too, see if we can do anything about mixing, kind of treating it to help it out a little bit in the tank, whether it be aerating it, whether it be a different variation of standpipe that gives us better turnover and a little bit more oxidation and contact time.
That's great.
One more thing, since it's so, Ben, the creeks are so low, and I know you're having trouble with that intake up burn up the road here. I mean, it might be a good time, it wouldn't cost that much to dig that up and clean it and see what happened after the
Yeah,
flood.
no doubt about that.
After
I
the
think
flood.
I mentioned that
Yeah, I don't know if it
also.
was last meeting or if it was something you and I talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have a permit for that, or don't we have a
We-
permit?
Yes,
Do
we
have-
have
We do.
permits to maintain
I
those.
mean, it wouldn't cost that
Both-
much to get somebody in there to
Both
clean
of
that
them,
off.
really, right?
Yes.
Get them both cleaned out and.
Burns isn't as bad, Kersey's the problem. Burns, from 20 years to 10 years till now, that stream hasn't changed a lot. It
Okay.
hasn't migrated a lot. Kersey has. That is definitely the priority. So, like you said, when Josh, Matt, and them are all up here, maybe that's something.
Yeah, they could give you
If
some
you guys get a
pointers
break
anyway.
or toward the end of the project, we can maybe plan for spring or maybe next year's dry season to get in there. I was having trouble with it clogging quite a bit, but I've been I back flush with every backwash now, and that seems to do well for me, unless we get a pretty high sediment event like rain or whatever. If I get a lot of sediment to the stream, it plugs up quickly. So it's definitely something like I'm working through it, but we definitely need to address some of it. So.
Alright,
Sounds good.
so study all outlooks of everything.
Yeah.
Where's the fire at?
Alright.
I
Do you
think they
know
might be testing.
how much longer that the loan is going?
I think it's 23.
Much
I can look
longer?
after,
Okay.
when we go in executive session, I'll go look.
It's not much longer.
Alrighty, moving on. Okay, define and trespass.
I say continue to table that. Things are always still raging in J Township. So
Okay, automatic gate opener, how's that coming?
same thing, tabling that, I think that'll be part of the budgeting, looking at it on the budget. I guess I'll repeat, from before, I'm hoping we at least get a slide gate, maybe not so much the automatic opener right now, but start at least with a slide gate, cause those doors, they just, I don't want it to turn into a insurance issue someday. It's not a.
Did you get any prices on the slide gate?
Not yet. When they were here to fix the rear gate, I asked them to update that on me. So I'll shoot an email out to them, double check with that. But yeah, it's not a matter. I know people are saying we're lazy. It's not a matter of being lazy. We can open and close it either way. We have the cameras now. We don't necessarily even have to close it. You come in, we're gonna know your vehicle. We're gonna know who you are. It's just whether it's my car, a customer's car, anybody.
The doors swing and smack.
They swing. That's come close to me a couple times, so I think it's time to do something there.
We'll check out the price on the slide gate.
Yep.
Personal slide gate.
Alright, okay, job description.
I don't think any update there, huh?
No, table it.
We'll get on everything else.
Tap fees,
Yeah, let's get that taken care of. We talked about, putting
Yeah.
500 and changing the wording in there for cost.
yeah, I mean, it's 500, what we
Plus.
wanna do is, it's 500, plus labor and materials.
Yeah, whatever the other questionable cost will be.
Yeah.
Just make sure when you do it, you got the receipts so nobody can ask you any questions.
We just need to update the contract.
You
Figure
gotta
out-
understand, the 500 is just for hookup only,
Mm-hmm.
then it's the cost.
Yes.
So we have to rewrite that in our,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Figure out
bylaws,
legalities on it too.
Yeah. Fine tune it a little bit.
fine tune that, and, we get it written, then we can approve it.
Yeah, let's get, we'll get that written up and then so we can get it approved the next
Okay,
meeting.
yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay, then the CDBG new burn deal.
I have the contract that has to be signed by Jim and the secretary, by the chairman and the secretary
Alright.
for the burn down. So,
And then that also says we've been officially awarded the monies for
Yes.
the meter replacement for Burndale.
$49,875.
Wow,
That's a chunk of change.
wonderful. Alrighty, on to new business. Colton Short, application for water service.
That will be on Kane Road after you cross the bridge. I guess that's Caledonia Road. Okay, Kane Road on the left side, going towards the very end. He has a garage on the left near two taps that we just put in. We're really like getting good advertisement out there. We got two taps in, and now we have at least two more people interested.
Good.
So that, he asked me about that. I said, we're getting pretty inundated on that line, but I will ask Brian's recommendation. That is only a 2-inch line, fed by a 3-inch the entire way. That line's probably hitting its capacity, but he only wants it to like just have a wash station, wash his hands, etc. So, like same with those other cans. They're only used occasionally. His would be only used occasionally. I think it would be okay, but I don't want to overstep.
Where's our
and-
3-inch main end at?
I'll have to look at the map with you. From my understanding, the 3 goes all the way to the end.
Okay, so it's pretty much 2-inch across the river and just to those houses.
I believe so.
Okay, that should be fine.
Yeah.
But that might be something we have to look at in the future if we keep getting applications for that area.
Right. Yeah. So, you think it would be okay to approve this one?
Yeah.
Especially considering his use. If it was a big giant house or something, I'd probably be leery, but I'm not sure how quick he needs it anyway. He was just told him the sooner you get it, the better.
Alright, so I need a motion to, give this application, for, Colton Short for you guys to, fill a count form.
Quick note, this one we would have to open cut across the road.
No.
Yeah.
That comes in that cost that we was just talking.
He needs
Right.
to know that right up front.
Right, so right now, like where does this, since we haven't changed it, does he,
You guys need to start doing your own blacktop.
yeah,
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
put it in the dump and do it?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Dig it out, go get the base and put it in, cause that's
Yeah.
all they did to all them cuts.
Yeah, the township used
You
base.
know, charge us $8,000 to put a bunch of base in.
Yeah,
there
you got a
and
dump
cut.
truck now, you
Yeah.
go up and get it hot and dump it
Plus-
right
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plus
and-
they,
Rent a compactor, rent, whatever.
we have
rent
we have a
whip.
jumping jack,
Well, you can't use that, you gotta
be
get,
smoother.
you want either the flat plate you can use, or you can just rent a little roller,
Mhm.
little hand run roller.
Yeah, you got a trailer. little
Yeah,
roller.
there's no reason that we
Yeah.
should ever have to pay to have that done
Yeah,
again.
I agree.
So,
So, as long as, I mean, we're mindful of that,
yeah,
with us not having new tap fees, I don't know if we could charge them for it.
Yeah, we're gonna have 'em.
well,
Yeah, we're gonna
No.
have them.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them on the board.
Mhm.
Actually, it does say that in ours. We just wanna more plain it out.
Mhm.
It does say that in there, so whatever the cost is, you tell them it's gotta be on there, because we can't afford to just go pave the road and everything
Right.
else with the
I
man.
say we table this until we find out for sure.
I think that may be a good idea. Review what's in there, make
Yes.
sure we have our butt covered.
And, well, go ahead, next meeting, then we'll approve this, whatever paper we
All right.
make up. Yeah, that's probably the best way.
Okay.
Or, and I can even contact them, the last one we opened cut, they were content with our cold patch and they tar and chipped over top. So, if they're okay with that, we could do that again. So, we'll explore the options.
All right.
Alright, so there was a motion to approve, I'll make a motion to table it.
Now second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Gus, all in favor for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so we get it straightened out.
Okay, location for payments.
I was at the bank and they asked me, where the water authority wants to take their payments after they're done December 11th. I said, we have a night drop box and mail it. I don't see anything else that we need to do, but it's up to the board.
Yeah, they're at some point gonna have to turn people away. We have issued postcards saying the Dropbox is here.
But
We
we've,
can either issue one again or feel it out, see how many people complain or how many phone calls we get. Where do we make payments? So we'll make it here.
well,
we can send a
Deb
reminder.
thought, since we have to do that other notice, put a piece of paper in their mail with that.
Good idea.
So we can put it in with the mailings we're gonna
Yeah.
do.
And when we bill next time, like with the note sheet where I put the CCR, we could put payments can be made at Dropbox and door.
Yep.
So
Okay.
everybody's do it.
Alright.
So as of December 11th, they can't. So
They
we'll.
can't accept anything, they're closed, and probably December 10th or December 9th I'll quit,
Okay.
because I won't be able to pick payments up on the 12th,
Mhm.
so they'll probably quit before
So the
that.
fourth quarter bills have to come here.
Can you order a stamp? You can just,
You wanna put it out on the pole by the road, like a mailbox or something?
It's right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
think that's no big
I
deal.
was just saying a stamp to put on the things.
Oh.
There's no room to put anything on those bills.
Okay.
I think then we'll fill it up and we'll see what we got.
Unless you just wanna put it in the newspaper for a week
Well,
or something.
we have to send a thing out for everybody,
For the lead
We have
copper
to send
public
the
ed.
letters out for.
that copper,
Yeah,
so we can
so-
send it out to
Oh, okay.
everybody.
I see what
So
you're
Yeah, we'll
saying.
just-
Put a thing in
We'll
with.
throw a little insert in.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good. Okay, I got one more question. I got bounced from Huffy about the pit, the meter pit.
Yes.
Are you doing a meter pit?
No,
Or you
he
not doing a meter
he
pit?
now has a brand new meter in his house. There was quick talk of a meter pit because we've tried multiple times to get in his house to change the meter, and I'll call you. We in a nutshell, we were denied access at the time. With the project coming through, I mean, our time was coming to an end. We had to get it in there. Yeah, he could have used the old meter, but when that project is done, I have to have all those meters in. So, our absolute, it was nothing in offense to him. Our absolute worst case scenario was if we could not get in to put in a new meter, we would have to put in a meter pit.
Well, we have that access to anybody to put a
Right.
meter on.
And he
inside the house like
he and I
everybody.
have our differences. He wasn't gonna let me in. I understand that. We finally did get in with the help of Eats Group and Justin Arnold, our maintenance person. Yeah, it's irrelevant. His meter's in. It's not an issue.
But I mean, if you ever think somebody's not metering it right, I mean, there's different ways of going about checking
Right,
and stuff to
and-
make sure that nobody's.
What
And
are
that's-
they, what are they, Fran?
One thing, you can check it more often,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and there's other, other
Yeah,
ways, and
the
you have the right to
key-
go in there if you knock at the door.
Right.
They, if you take the sheriff down, somebody don't let you in to check it.
Right. And that was
You
something.
have
That was something we
opportunity.
discussed too. I mean, I don't want to cause drama, but
You know.
if we had to get in, we had to get in. You can use the state police. I've done
Oh,
it
yes.
before. I had the
Yeah.
state police escort me into a house once before.
That's right.
But to avoid that conflict, there was quick talk of a meter pit, but not
We're
necessary.
not gonna do no meter pit.
No, his new meter's in, and like
It's
you
in,
said
it's
about tampering.
I mean, if you got
Right.
any issues, we can do
Exactly.
different things.
I'm not
to-
insinuating he would tamper. I think he knows better. This goes for anybody in the entire system.
Well, yes.
The new iPro water meters hold at least 30 days worth of data. So if you have a residence that water use, and then no water
Then
use
drops
for a
off,
week,
it'll show up.
it'll flag an alarm, or a
Yeah.
reverse use or whatever. It'll flag an alarm. So
That's the really nice thing about these meters. They have several built-in alarms, so anytime these guys go and read the meters,
yeah,
it'll show up. It'll show up if,
leak detection.
yeah, if they have a leak detection. If they're seeing a low flow 24/7, it'll let us know, hey, this customer has a leak.
Yeah.
It can be a 0.1 gallon a minute leaking toilet. It'll let us know. Plus it has several tamper alarms on it.
Mhm.
And it will let us know as soon as we read the meters.
There were some other old ways to cheat the meters that these will yell at you for too.
Now,
that I
is
won't
that kind of
mention.
meters you're gonna put in Burndale when you get
Yes.
this going? Okay.
Yeah, but that's all that was. It was
All right.
nothing.
I mean, he bounced me about
Yeah.
that today when I was down there, and I said, hey, I'll ask.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about a meter pit,
Right.
you know.
Well,
so-
his meter was installed yesterday, so
So, I mean, so that's done and over with.
yep, that is it. They, I believe they connected him today.
We did.
So yep,
Okay, that's all I need to ask. When I ask the questions, I ask,
absolutely.
and, that's it.
Alright. Okay, hiring a part-time maintenance person. We're gonna table that. And then, we're gonna go into an executive session.
And then return to it, I guess.
Yes.
So,
Well, we're gonna go to the executive session
Yeah, you
because
gotta
of
turn that off.
talking.
yeah.
Turn your thing
Turn
off.
the thing off.
Yep.
Yep. Where the heck's it at now?
Go ahead and just wait a couple.
Okay, so we're coming out of executive session. And, we decided,
No, we didn't decide anything.
oh, we didn't decide anything.
No.
You're
We are
right.
now looking for motions.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right, we're looking for a motion.
First of all, you gotta say Lisa Browse is on the phone.
Oh, yes, Lisa Browse is on the phone, cause we're trying to make
Make a
a
motion.
a motion,
To hire part-time.
yeah.
To put part-time.
Yeah, and I need a motion to hire,
Jim.
James Antonio as our part-time employee.
Well, as needed labor.
As
Part-time,
needed labor?
As needed maintenance.
Alright. And I was wondering if I could have a second for that.
Who made the
Well, we
motion?
need a first.
Oh, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
And Fran, you guys are gonna second the motion. Okay, all in favor?
First of all, I need to know what he's gonna make.
We talked about that 14, wasn't it?
15, I think. 15.
Okay. That'd be at the rate of $15 an hour. Okay. And,
I need to vote.
well, I needed,
Lisa?
Lisa?
needs to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
He
we
made the motion to,
hired James Antonio
As needed maintenance.
And
as
so-
needed maintenance as a part-time employee, correct?
right, and then they had a first and second, now they need to vote.
We
And
need the third vote.
Yeah, we need all in
I'm
favor.
going to abstain.
Yeah,
I'm also abstaining.
yes.
So so we need the third vote.
Yeah,
So, let's have a roll call vote.
okay,
Deb,
Abstaining.
Patrick,
Abstain.
Jim,
yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Lisa,
Okay,
Now, what's the next one?
and now, we have to decide on, we're gonna do a second interview on
one of the people that applied, and we're going to do that, interview on, didn't you say, on
on Monday.
Monday, on November the 9th? And at, what,
6 o'clock, 7
can,
o'clock.
yeah,
We
6 o'clock,
We
that'll
have
be
to
fine.
vote on that.
Okay, and we don't need to make a motion for that.
Alright,
The hours at the plant you wanted to do.
Need to make a motion to change the plant hours to 8 AM to 4 PM for all workers at the water authority.
I'll make that motion,
I'll second.
alright, all in favor?
Abstaining as well as an employee.
Who
All-
made the second?
Okay.
All in favor except for Patrick staying.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks Lisa, get better.
Thank you.
Alright, bye-bye. Okay,
No, we need adjournment.
okay, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:55.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.